Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday. It's us again because it's a Tuesday. Gemma's going to read our Bible passage.
So today we've got Joshua 21, a little bit at the end, into the next chapter 22. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors, and he took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their ancestors. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord gave all their enemies into their hands. Not one of the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Every one was fulfilled. Then Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, "You have done all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and you have obeyed me in everything I commanded. For a long time now, to this very day, you have not deserted your fellow Israelites, but have carried out the mission that the Lord your God gave you. Now that the Lord your God has given them rest, as he promised, return to your homes in the land that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you, on the other side of the Jordan. But be very careful to keep the commandment and the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you, to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to keep his commandments, to hold fast to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." Then Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their homes. To the half tribe of Manasseh Moses had given land in Bashan. To the other half of the tribe Joshua gave land on the west side of the Jordan, along with their fellow Israelites. When Joshua sent them home, he blessed them, saying, "Return to your homes with your great wealth, with large herds of livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and a great quantity of clothing, and divide the plunder from your enemies with your fellow Israelites."
Joshua 21 tells the fulfillment of God's promise of land and rest to the Israelites. And after hundreds of years and 6 books of the Bible, the original promise given to Abraham by God in Genesis finally comes to fulfillment in Joshua.
And throughout the Bible, there are countless examples of God being faithful to his promises. So one that we all remember is Noah's Ark, where God promised never to flood the land again, never to flood the world again. And we see God's promise in a rainbow today as well, that he'll never do that again. Another example is God delivering the Israelites from slavery in Egypt through the plagues. Samuel was a promised baby to Hannah. And most notably that Jesus was the promised Messiah. So reading about 40 years of wilderness, roaming the desert to get to the promised land, it really reminds us of what it's been like in lockdown. Moses and the Israelites were wandering, walking in circles, relying on God's provision for about 40 years. And for some of us, our 3 months of lockdown have felt like 40 years of wilderness. And for other people, it's been more of a time to slow down and enjoy the present, and a time to recognise and appreciate the things that we take for granted.
When we face trouble of any kind, as Christians, we know there is a greater promise and something great to look forward to. In Revelation 21, it reminds us that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, where God dwells with his people, where he will wipe every tear from their eyes, where there will be no more death, mourning, crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.
So in our 3 months of lockdown wilderness so far, and with probably more to come, and with hope in sight of our church buildings reopening, the shops are reopening, our house move is hopefully happening, and the weather is seeming more cheery, except for today where it's a bit miserable. We can look to God and know that he always keeps his promises and he'll never leave us out in the wilderness.
So we've made it this far, so we just have to keep going, keep trusting and listening to God, and know that he makes all things work for. He makes all things. Oh, sorry, I can't read this statement. I've had it in my head.
All things work together for our good.
Thank you. And then finally, just to remind us as well, verse 45 says, "Not one of the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Every one was fulfilled." So yeah, those
Well
are
done.
some little thoughts. I got through it. I read about 2 lines, just about. Have a great day, and we'll see you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.